Welcome to my messy office. Yeah, I know it's just one of those things that when I'm actually doing my thing, well, yeah, sometimes there are things going on and sometimes there's nothing going on. And in this case, yeah, because I'm always focused on other things, I tend to leave things. But I'm just going to go ahead and introduce my office first because I know that although there is somewhat of an unkempt feel to this, um, there's one thing I would probably say here is that if you look closely, there's a lot of things that probably will tell you a lot about me. One of them happens to be the what's the word I'm looking for here? The um liking for anime and whatnot. To one side, you'll see some My Hero Academia characters. You'll see pictures everywhere, especially of a specific one. And it's not the typical one that people think of. But the other thing that I would point out is that as you're looking, you'll see telltale signs and clues of other things that I like. And if people were to ask me about, why I like those certain things, I couldn't tell you other than the fact that it's just part of my nature. Um, Consequently, there is a cabinet with stuff and there are things all over. And I think that's the part that needs to be emphasized here. And that is, um, hold on a second. I know I'm doing stuff, but I've got folks that are sending me messages. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I'm just gonna let them know. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm just gonna let them know I'm live on YouTube, I think. This will probably be the first um candid thing I've ever done on YouTube, to be honest with you. I'm not necessarily a stranger to going live. I've spoken on several occasions on other platforms, and so this is my first attempt to try to get somewhere. And the reason why is because I decided I need to do something different. And what I mean by that is I need to break away. I mean, really honestly, I know that what happened, I can see something. Oh, okay. Well, I can see something too. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. Um, this is something I was scrubbing evidence not too long ago, and I want to ask Hobo if in fact there was a growl that he recorded or what that sound was in. I think it was clip 3, and so with that, there he is. Yes, there I am. I think. Yeah, I've got to ask him if that is a growl that I'm hearing in there, and it's very apparent. And there's a lot uh like jibber jabber stuff going on in the background. So I'm thinking, and I'm just gonna say this in passing and just in quotation marks, that there's something going on there. I mean, the more I was getting into it. Now I'm gonna tell you a story because last Friday, there was a family function that was going on. Well, I shouldn't say family. It was like a girls' night out kind of thing. And so everyone left and I was home by myself. And so, I don't have a problem with it. Matter of fact, I'm happiest when I'm like, in my own little fortress of solitude here. Although I don't have a giant S on my chest and I don't fly, just what it is. But there was a really, like, horrid accident that happened just outside of where I live. I heard it. I knew something was wrong with it, and you know that feeling you get when you hear certain things, you just like, "No, they're just wrong." So I had to go out there, I called 911, and there was vehicles on their side, there was all kinds of craziness, people were stopping to looky-loo, people were jutting out themselves out of their cars, crossing the road and trying to get in there. I'm like, "Wait, just pull over. Don't leave your car in the middle of the road." And so, The reason why I'm bringing it up that way is because, one of the things that was mentioned is that, as I was calling and whatnot, apparently they knew about the accident when I called in, and I'm like, "Well, then why aren't the cops here?" It'd been 3 minutes. I'm a very slow mover, okay? And I can't say anything more than I, went out there. Now, mind you, there were a lot of other things that were going on that day, and, I was having a hard time. Luna, hello, thanks for joining. But one of the things that I have to say is I was having a hard time keeping my balance, and I could hardly walk, but I'm out there. Okay, now I know I'm in trouble because I'm leaning on my cane so much, and I'm telling the person, "You got someone coming." Yeah, and so they ask me for information. I'm giving them whatever, and I guess they were collating information from what I could tell. I'm like, "Look, I'm losing my balance. I'm losing my legs. I've got to go sit down, and I can't be here anymore." And so, um, the whole thing was just like a scene, like, straight out of Chips, because one of the SUVs was on its side. Literally. I mean, it looked like if, they jumped over a car, and the car that it clipped, was to one side, and I, took information on it, but I didn't know if it was the one or not. And I even told him that. I says, "I don't know if that's the car that's involved." I says, "Right now, I see a car on its side. I see another one here. Just send help." You know. And so I hung up. I went back and I sat myself down because it was enough to see, which didn't bother me. And I guess that's a sign of how sanguine we've become over scenes like this. But the other thing that, was ironic is that, with everything else going on, to me, it was like, okay, there's obviously, this must be high tide or something just before a full moon. I don't know. But here we are. Now, fast forward, I get a phone call from my brother, and he's telling me a different story. He's going on about things that are going on, I guess, where he works. And he says to me, "You know what happened to me?" He says, "Not too long ago, I had this experience where, I normally park in this one spot and I decided not to. And here's the part that was scary," he tells me, is that this guy loses control. Some guy that, I guess he's a quadriplegic person. And I know there's going to be some like chuckling. No, this is not a joke. This is a real story. He can drive with like specialized legs or whatnot so that he can drive around in his car. Now, this is where it gets crazy is that apparently he decided to drink a little bit more than normal, lost control, and he hit the vehicle that parked there where he would normally would have been. Now, when did this happen? It was the exact same day that I actually saw that accident take place. So we both had an experience that was that, and he showed me a video, and you could see the car that hit it because they had a camera out there that was fixated on the area, and then you see the truck or whatever it is that got hit fall on its side, and I like, "Oh my god," I says, "This looks familiar to me. I've seen this before." And I just couldn't believe what I was actually getting at. So I guess in a way we had a shared experience in a very odd manner, but there you go. But now it gets better. My brother had the opportunity to go and do a ghost investigation at the Winchester House in San Jose. And he hates paranormal investigators. As a matter of fact, he doesn't like it when I talk about this stuff. Oh, he'll entertain it for a little bit, but then he gets bored, he walks away. And that's his nature. That's just how he is. But now here's where it gets funnier. He gets dragged in there and he's like antagonizing and nothing's happening. He's antagonizing, he's saying ghosts aren't for real. I don't believe in ghosts. Ghosts, they can, well, you'll fill in the blank, whatever it is that you want to put there. That's how he was. Now it gets better than that, is that he starts telling me, he says, "When we came home," he says, "at first I thought maybe it was all the absinthe that they bought, from some liquor store." You got to tell us how he ended up in a ghost investigation. Oh, okay, yeah, I will. What happened is that his husband wanted to go and do a ghost hunt. And so as an early, I don't know if you want to say it was an Easter gift or I don't know what you want to say, but he just got it for him. He said, "Let's go." And it wasn't expensive. I mean, it was like 20 bucks a head. So they got in there. And he's like, "I really don't want to go." And he says, "Well, your brother Drew would probably like it if you could film everything. I mean, he'd get a kick out of this." It's like, "Yeah, but I really don't want to go." And so they hummed and hawed and they went back and forth. They went. So that's how they got there. But now getting back to the story, they came home. They had some absinthe, and it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They just didn't sleep. And they're drinking this absinthe or whatnot, and he swears to me that he started seeing things. Now, if you know what absinthe is, it is a drink that even existed in the 19th century. Edgar Allan Poe was very much known to have drank this particular type of drink. Others, like Lewis Carroll, have imbibed with absinthe. And you'll probably see various late 19th century poetry that makes reference to it in the same sense of the macabre that you would have for all the other creepy stories that emanated from that era. Now, the reason why that's important is because he was drinking it on the idea that, uh, oh, really? So, my friend loved absinthe. I never liked it. Yeah, that's gotta be something that I know is an acquired taste, and, it's one of those things. Luna Hobo totally caught EVP at the beginning of the mannequin clip he uploaded, and it's the very beginning before he says, "Here we go." Yeah, I just shared that with my brother, by the way. I got a response from that, and, at first he says, "You've gotta be kidding me," and I'm like, "No, that's real," and he's like, "How do people do this?" I'm like, "You get a tape recorder and you go." And he's like, "They don't make tape recorders anymore." I says, "Then get a digital recorder. Get your iPhone, get your Android. I don't care what you get, just go." And he's like, "Is that what you did making me drive around with the Necrophonic app and whatnot when you were out here?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he says, "Is that why you were so busy and obsessed with that Randonautica app?" I said, "Yes." Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he doesn't subscribe to a lot of the ideas and things that go on, but the absinthe apparently woke something up because then he said he was starting to see things. Now, here's where he thought, "Oh, there's got to be something else going on here." His husband starts complaining that he's seeing things hanging out in the hallway. He's seeing things move around and jump from place to place. What the hell's going on? He says. He goes back to him and he says, "What the heck? Why am I seeing all these figures? Did you bring something home? Did you dare them to come follow us?" And my brother is saying, he didn't do anything like that. He just said, "Whatever. You want to go so bad? Oh, to the one place? Yeah, believe you me, I'd like to go myself. I would love to go and just kick back." I got a question for both of you. Am I able to invite both of you up here? Can you guys join me? I don't even know what my limitations are. Engage your audience. Okay, hold on a second. Start a poll. Start a Q&A. Answer viewer questions live. Okay. Do you believe in ghosts? Oh, okay. So this is for the chat thing. Okay. You know my answer to that one. Do you think I have a narrative voice? Yes, I do. And I think it's rather haunting, and I've said that in the past. I'm giving you poll questions. Okay. Okay, well, then I'm gonna put that there, but right now, I only have an audience of what? 2, 3? Your voice, not mine. Okay, well, still, but, um, it would be nice to get more. I'm grateful you guys are here, trust me. I'm glad you're here. To be honest with you, I miss the times when you could go live on other platforms, and I'm up to 84 subscribers. What's the secret? I gotta know. I mean, it's just a matter of posting. Is that what you need to do then? Because I've got more stuff I'm gonna have to upload and then just kinda go from there. Yes, okay, well, then I guess that's what I'm gonna need to do. Um, but I've got more stuff that's coming because he's gonna be sending me some raw footage and cameras. I think he says that he's caught stuff there where he's living right now, and the cameras, you can see stuff moving in the background, he says. So I'm waiting for that. Yeah, they probably do. Um, that and music or whatnot would probably be the one thing that I'm looking at. I can give you some sites with free use stock videos. Okay. What I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put up like a red curtain background for me and just maybe pipe in some music. I could do that now, I think. I don't know. Is that something I could do? It's got that. No, that's not gonna work that way. So I would literally have to bring in stuff and pipe it here. Hold on a second. I'm experimenting. So need you to bear with me for just a second. It's telling me what I have access to and what I don't have access to. What about a screen with smoke rising against a black backdrop or fireplace? I would love that. Um, I'd like to do that, but then it would look like I'm burning in hell. I don't know how that would come across. You in the fireplace. You in the fireplace. Get out of the fireplace. If I find you in the fireplace again, I kill you. I know I'm laughing at my own jokes, but that's actually a Cheech and Chong reference. And I forget the name of that. I think it was a skit. It was this one gal and her dad, and they were going into a not fireplace. They were going into a Chinese restaurant, and the the maitre d or whatever, the guy that greets you at the door, he's handling a whole bunch of different things going on at the same time, and he's trying to get these people, dinner for two, okay, and then there's more to it than that. I mean, if you know the scenes, if you know the skits, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's always been my favorite because I've always talked about that one. You in the fireplace. Um, no, but seriously, the whole fireplace thing, I would love to do that. I'd like to have a scene where I'm literally sitting here and you can see like a fireplace in the background and it's kind of dark, you know, grandfather clock. Gee, why would I want to think of something like that? Because I honestly, it's not necessarily the just the idea, it's also the mood that it creates from that. It's perfect for storytelling. It's perfect for just talking and whatnot, which does kind of bring me to the reason why I'm here. I was testing and I'm experimenting, of course, and I'm trying to make sure that everything I do is documented because I did discover one thing as I'm talking is that I know this is stuff that's going to pop up on my what do they call it on my storyboard or whatever they call it here. of the live and past, so it's just posted automatically, which is great because I'm not necessarily gonna do anything weird or obscene or whatnot. Obviously, I've got a lot of, like, pictures in the background, and there's a mess, and I'm definitely looking at it from the point of view of the camera and what I probably should, like, clean up and get out of the view and what have you, but sure, Jan. Okay. But one thing for sure is that as I'm, like, doing this is also kinda like a test to see how much I can stump. Um, the Brady Bunch. Yes, yeah. Um, it'd be interesting to see how that would come out if I can even do that kind of a Brady Bunch scene. Let's see, timestamps, moderation, participants, community moderation. Um, oh, what did I just do? Hold on. Oh, okay, it's doing weird stuff here. I need to make you a mod for me. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll do the same for you. Let's see. Does it tell me how I can do that? Go to channel, add as a moderator. Booyah, you are here. So there you go. And because I know how things are. Look at that, Luna. You're in there too. You are in the crew. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. I was just saying I was trying to see how much I can stump. A long time ago, I could get up. I could actually, talk straight for I've got the power. Yeah. Um, but the fun part is that I could do that, and many years ago, even drinking, I could do it, and I had someone challenge me to actually keep hold of a subject and stay focused on it, and I did so for exactly 47 minutes, and, is picking up what I'm putting down. Yep, that's right. But still, I, sorry about what? But in any case, I that was my record, 47 minutes, and I was able to stump for that long. Nowadays, I probably, if I really, really tried distracting you always, I know it's okay. But if anything, I'm just like, I gotta do this. I saw those Magic the Gathering. Yeah, yeah, they're all over the place. And that's one thing for sure. I mean, that's I have them. I'm trying to see. I know you got the one deck that's there in the background. I've got several books of them. But yeah, this it's essentially a mess. And yeah, I gotta clean this up. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow and get everything taken care of. But if you look here to my stage right, if I'm saying that right, that's your right, my left. Where the cabinet is. I mean, that's where I have all my curios and whatnot. And then off camera to my right, which is going to be your left if you're looking at it that way. I don't even know if it will like mirror that way, but that's obviously the shrine to my mom. So it's my left. Okay. So if it's your left where my cabinet is, then there you go. But on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Then if it's in your left, it's on my left. So that means it's mirroring what I'm doing so that it looks like you can see from whatever. I never could understand this. the fact that I'm even doing this, with a live thing, it's kinda crazy for me because 'cause I'm not used to this. I'll get used to that. I mean, the audio aspect of it, no problem, and I think you and I both know it. Now, I've done lives elsewhere, and you know that, um, and I've even did a marathon. Audio sounds great. Yeah, I know, because I'm, like, literally in front of the microphone, and I've got the pea popping filter that's, literally in front of that, so that way I don't have the basically eating it. I'm not eating it, I'm just literally close to it, podcast style. Okay, yeah, well, I don't have one of those hanging, ape hanger bars for my microphone. What I have is what I have, and that's thanks to you, of course, but, I mean, those are called plosives. Oh, is that what they call it? I've always called the pea popping filter. But they're pretty common because, I mean, if you look, even in recording studios, they're always there. And it's funny because I always watch, like, artists, they're, like, literally, like, almost on top of it. Pop filter protects from plosives. Okay, that makes sense. But there you go. I mean, it's what it is. And, I watch, folks that are recording things, and they do that hard as sound. Okay. And that's the one thing I think is kind of fun is when I'm talking, I've kind of gotten so used to it, especially when I'm recording and I'm just doing my thing. Everything's already set now to a point where I can do my stuff. Plosives. Okay. Well, I still like saying the pea popping filter. Sorry, that's me. Um, yeah, a lot of stuff in here. Not trying to be a know-it-all. Hey, I you're not a know-it-all to me. I'm looking at it from the point of view of this is how I label things. You totally should keep it. The pea popping filter or the plosives. But I did actually review some of the evidence that was given to us by, Mr. Hobo and, the pea popping filter. Okay, I'll definitely keep it, and I do use it. It's right here, and, I'm not, like, eating on it, but I'm, like, right in front of it because I figure this way you can hear me clearly, and then you don't have the pea popping, tea topping, frilly filter, clanking, whatever. Actually, yeah, you did give it to me, and, at first, I didn't use it, and I did a run of some recordings, and you can hear the difference. Watch. This is me with a pea popping filter not there, and you can hear me popping away as I talk about things, literally. Now, this is me with the pea popping filter, and it obviously lessens the impact of that sound. So, when you're talking and cackling and you're popping, hopefully you hear it. But I didn't use it at first because I didn't wanna be the stereotypical podcaster, like the arm for better positioning. If I find it, I'll give it to you. Oh, okay. No rush because this thing already has a mount right here. I mounted it to my desk, and I've got it in such a way that it's literally sitting in front. So, it's funny because I, uh I still remember was doing my training. If you look over to my right, you'll see there's a second set of monitors and a computer there. That one is work related. And the one thing I'll certainly point out is that when I was doing my training No, somebody actually said that they saw something move behind me, and they said, "Is there somebody in the room with you?" And I said, "No, it's just me, myself, and I says, "Unless you wanna call it in that context." I says, "But, being it's a medical facility that this is all about, if I were to admit to things like that, you guys might show up with a reverse sport code for me." So I didn't wanna get into it. But I did admit to somebody there that, "Yeah," I says, "I still think this area is haunted," and I says, "I'm gonna tell you why." And I kinda gave him a couple of examples, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And sure enough, what happened next was the, what do you call it? The person that was, managing the stuff, I had to go on camera, and they said that for a moment, they thought they saw something over my head. And I kept saying, "What do you mean something over my head?" I'm like, I reached over my head, there was nothing there, but it was extremely cold in my office that day. The heater was actually going on and it was still cold. So I just told them, I said, "Yeah, don't worry, it's probably just my friends that live in here." And they said, "You're not supposed to have anyone in the office." I said, "Who said they were real people?" I says, said, "I've got friends in here." And so then they kind of like gave kind of a pale look at me like, "What?" So, yeah, I kinda stopped that, but they did say that they saw something. They didn't say what, they just said it looked like there was someone in the room with me. So, whether that's true or not, but, keep an eye if you do happen to see stuff. What I am gonna do one of these days is that I am actually gonna have just candles going, and, I'm gonna try to create a mood in here to where, I'm gonna tell a story. And that was the things I was leading up to here, because right now I'm actually at 32 minutes of doing this, and like I said, I know it's gonna post when I'm finished, and I want to see if, in fact, I can get it to where people can, say, "Oh, this is Drew, and he's just letting his hair down and doing whatever." Matter of fact, that's exactly what I have on my podcast this week is actually it's a spring recap, and I just talking about everything that happened in the past, from the beginning of the year to now, and then, really honestly, I also talk about wooden ships as I put on my intro there. The reason why I said it that way is because there is a sail on the horizon that's coming, and it's getting larger because there are some things that are coming. There are some things that are coming in and will make themselves known with some of the projects I've been working on for quite a while. And let that beautiful mane flow in the air and breeze. What mane? There's hardly any hair under this hat. I prefer to keep things the way they are. Somebody's heckling me. Um, but now that I've reached at 34 minutes here, and I can literally, feel the fatigue in me actually talking. I think I've reached my limit for now. No, I'm not. Okay. But no, seriously, just picturing you with Fabio hair. I did have long hair at one time. That's the truth. Like a Pantene commercial. Oh, there's that one dude that, talks about the little microbes in your hair with Head& and Shoulders or whatnot, and no. I am not that guy. But I do like the idea that at one time I did actually have long hair. I wore it in a ponytail a lot, and I occasionally would do that. Didn't they do the slow-mo hair shake? Yeah, they did actually, they did do that. I I don't consider myself a Pantene person, but at the time, I did actually have this stuff that I did use that, dried out my hair a lot, and I ended up with a lot of what do they call those split ends and kinks and whatnot in my hair and whatnot. So, but eventually it all got clipped off. I had to be square, as Huey Lewis would say. And as they say, it's hip to be square, right? Or it was. I don't know anymore. Now I'm donning tattoos and whatnot. So go figure. um, yeah, I remember I went into a tattoo shop a long time ago. I don't know. I've always been square. Yeah, but you know what? Just because folks have like you know some kind of squarish tendencies in one direction doesn't necessarily make them a complete square. And so that's just one thing I would probably kind of say, oh yeah, I'm boring, okay, fine. But but there are some tendencies that people have that makes, okay, this person's on the wild side. And I've seen that. There's some people that have shocked the hell out of me just for that reason. So, you know, there are some things that people can say, and there are some things that I could say, and I'm sure it just, it is what it is. So, knowing all of that, I was implying I'm boring, not you. Well, I don't think you're boring, but there you go. um, but yes, and with that, get some sleep. Oh, I certainly will. I certainly will. I'm keeping you in a jar or in a cage or in a box. Up. Oh, I didn't even realize what time it was. Okay. But there you go. I think it's time. And I'm going to end this live and then I'm going to make sure it gets posted so that everyone can point and laugh and have a good time. Way to make me sound creepy. Good night, everyone. Yeah, great chatting. Yeah, thanks so much for being here and you have a good night.